Hiya, my name's Leanne and I'm just doing a quick video for everybody that's following Rodney's Your Choice page about alcohol. And I thought I would give an insight to a day in the life of actually sort of living with somebody and being with somebody that actually is an ex-alcoholic or ex-alcohol addict, whatever you like to say, however you like to obviously hear that person. I personally like to say ex-alcohol addict, only because I think growing up, when you think of an alcoholic, you think of somebody sitting on a park bench with, you know, a brown paper bag drinking, which unfortunately this day and age isn't always the case. You could be standing next to somebody in the street and not even actually know what they're going through, what addictions they have. And it isn't until I've actually been going through this journey with Rodney I've actually realised how many people out there who we think are normal that are actually going through a lot more than you actually realise. So I thought I would start at the beginning and let you all know, you know, when I first started obviously seeing Rod, we actually, you know, I think was like any other normal couple. All of you out there probably watching the video, you know, we would meet up and everything sort of revolved around drink. You know, we sort of meet up, you go out for a meal, you know, Rod would have a cider, you have a bottle of wine. Every time, you know, you sort of have an occasion together, it all revolves around drink, which to me and to everyone out in the world is the normal thing that you do, which I don't think is people having a problem. It's just more acceptably social that you are actually drinking. And when I first met Rod, no, I don't think he had a problem with drink. I don't think, well, to me, he didn't look like he had a problem with drink. But then I think after a little while of spending time and seeing him in the morning, and when he started to drink in the morning, I then sort of started to question, hang on a minute, has he actually got more of a problem? I actually realised he's got a problem. Because it's being with somebody every day and you watch them, you know, having a drink, having a few beers, having a glass of wine, to us, who is out in the world, that is a normal thing. You know, we all do it. You know, I hold my hands up to that. You know, I've been the sort of mum, you know, that put the kids in bed and can't wait for them to get to bed and I'll have a glass of wine. You know, we all do it, you know, and that was all I really watched Rod do. But when you actually start being around somebody and actually, you know, maybe seeing them start opening a can and drinking it in the morning and start questioning, right, you know, why are you doing it? And then, you know, people do, oh, with hair of a dog. Is it hair of a dog? Do they really need to have that drink? You know, and the more the time goes on and actually started to realise he had a problem, it was trying to, what I found was hard was being that close to somebody, trying to admit to them and ask them if they think they've got a problem, which is always hard when you're that close to somebody. When you start looking at them drinking every day, trying to realise if it's okay or if it's a problem, you know, which is really, really hard to try and distinguish between the two. I mean, I don't think you actually realise that until you're in that position, what you feel is normal to be drinking and what is actually a problem when you're drinking. You know, but, well, anyway, that's what I think. You know, what I did think was a problem, you know, was getting up in the morning drinking, you know, it was horrible. You know, and I used to say to him, you know, you do really need to have that drink, you know, why don't you wait till lunchtime and actually see if you need it? And then when they actually saw him, no, I need to have it, you know, and sort of down in cans, you know, for me it was hard because, I don't know, when you sort of watch somebody going through, you know, sort of horrible things and struggling with things, and the only sort of way they can deal with things is through drink, well, yeah, then that's a problem. And, you know, I think we're all sort of guilty of that in one way or another. You know, you've had a bad day, we'll have a drink. You know, if something bad's happened, we'll grab a drink. You know, and unfortunately, that can end up leading into somebody actually having a drink problem, having an addict problem, not, you know. And actually, when you actually sit there and be the other person, watching somebody you love, somebody you care about, going down that road, it's really, really hard. I mean, and a lot of people say to me now, I mean, I personally, I chose, you know, not to drink, not to smoke, not to do anything, not because I had a problem, more because I knew Rod had a problem, and I chose to be supportive of him and help him through his problems by not doing it. You know, and a lot of people say to me, you know, Lee, well, isn't it hard? You know, you love having a drink, you know, you love, you know, going out with all your friends. Like, don't get me wrong, I do. And if I want to, I can still do that. But for me personally, I chose not to do that because of watching Rod going through what he went through And the night when he, I'm going to say this without getting upset, the night when he, you know, was throwing up blood, you know, the night before he got diagnosed with stage 4 cirrhosis, having the person that you love more than anything in the world, you know, your best friend, your soulmate, actually, you know, trying to ring you saying, you know, that they're throwing up blood and they don't want to die alone where they are. You know, it's a wake-up call, you know, and seeing him in the hospital, you know, and the doctor saying, you know, to his family that, you know, they're actually surprised he made it. A lot of people would have died, you know, the amount of blood he lost. You know, for me, personally, there was no doubt about it. You know, for me, it was to support him and to not drink. You know, to not do that, not because I had to, just because I think for somebody that wants to do that and to actually give up everything that they know, that's a big part of their life, you know, going to football, having a drink, going out with the mates, having a drink, for a man's man like Rod to not do that, you know, and to be with somebody that was still drinking, he would have found that hard. I know he would have done. So I chose to support him and not do that. You know, and that is a big thing about, you know, family that are around and how you choose to support them. And you know what, it wasn't even that hard. Even now it's not even that hard. You know, if I want to go out and do those things, I've got the option to. Unfortunately, Rod hasn't got the option to. You know, stage 4 cirrhosis means you can't ever have a drink again. You know, the amount of blood that he lost, you know, he had 2 pints of blood transfusions. You know, I'm watching him every day. You know, Rod is a very strong man, and he's still a very strong man. And you know, sometimes he says to me, you know, I'm half the man I used to be. And I actually laugh at him, and he's saying, oh, why is it funny? And I said, it's not funny, because he's not half the man he used to be. He's still the man he used to be. You know, he's still Rod. You know, he's still everything that he used to be. But he's twice the man he used to be to me, because he not only now is he a very strong man that he was before, he's now emotionally strong, mentally strong, and the way he's hit here helping everyone else, he can actually now, he's come through the other side and got himself sober on his own, you know, through his own self-talk. Every rehab, you know, never helped him. Every alcohol place he went to never helped him. What he done, he learned from all those people that tried to teach him and gave him his own aftercares with the support of me, his mum. You know, he's actually got through the other side. And now, you know, he's watched his best friend die. He's had so much thrown at him where the first thing he could have done was turn to drink. And you know what, he didn't, because he's now twice the man he's ever been before, because he chose, you know, to give up drink, and he can now deal with anything life throws at him. And don't get me wrong, it is hard. It's very hard for him. But he does it. He still goes out with his friends and doesn't drink. You know, he still goes to football, takes, you know, Kai out football with him. But the option is, you know, people see him like, oh yeah, you know, to be able to not go out with your friends and be a man like Rod's been, and to go out with your friends and watching them all doing everything that he used to do. You know, it is smile through, no, you're alright boys, but yeah, it does it. But you know what, he does it. And you know what, everyone can do it. And there's nothing worse than watching people go, yeah, but he's strong. Do you know what, he's strong because he's made himself strong. You know, but me, his family, have watched him not be strong and make himself strong. And the amount of people that say to me, oh, you know, but you've helped him do this, you've helped him do that. Do you know what, I don't actually feel personally I have, because I've watched him do it all himself and just propped him up around the edges if he needed it. Do you know, that's how I feel that it is. But, you know, I now have to sit there watching him because of drink, because of drugs, you know, if his diabetes, sugar levels all over the place. You know, because when you've got cirrhosis, your liver doesn't function properly. If your liver doesn't function properly, that means his blood sugars aren't always working properly. So constantly, our whole day, we can't plan a day out. You know, we can't say to the kids, you know, let's do this tomorrow, because the likelihood is you might not feel like it. Cirrhosis makes you tired, it makes you lethargic, it makes his diabetes all over the place. You know, he's due to have more heart surgery, he gets out of breath, you know, he has to go and see physios because of his nerve damage, everything. You know, people don't actually realise the whole after effects, you know, that he deals with on a day-to-day basis. And you know, we deal with it together and I help him deal with that. And you know what, that's what makes him twice the man he's ever been before. You know, and I think a lot of people out there who are worrying about, you know, what they should do if people, you know, they see you struggling. You know, what you should do is start questioning, you know, are they being social, or are they depending on their alcohol and their addictions to help them deal with things? Because when you actually do drink to deal with things, all you're doing is just covering it over, because whatever you're covering over is there the next day. And it ain't until, you know, you've watched somebody as strong as Rod, who's always actually dealt with everything through drinking, you know, to come out the other side and not be able to deal with anything life throws at him now. And don't get me wrong, there's been lots of times he's like, I feel like I could have one, and then he's so glad that that moment passed, because years ago that'd been the first thing he does. You know, and now he's actually here, living till the towel, and actually seeing other people, you know, go through everything that he's gone through. And the first thing he wants to do is help other people. He said, you know, if nothing else, you know, I can't work anymore because of, you know, how I am. You know, I can't do anything, you know, that's physically, you know, going to put pressure on him because of his heart and his liver. You know, all he keeps on doing is, you know, what he can do is help other people. And, you know, if I'm going to do everything that I can, obviously, as his support network, to help him out other people. But, you know, if you are out there and there is somebody that you're worried about, you know, the first thing you need to sort of question is alcohol being used as a comfort to deal with situations? Because if it is, that's when it all sort of stems and starts getting out of hand. And, you know, if you love somebody, you know, we're all guilty. We've sat there and drunk with Rod, you know, been up all night like normal, you know, and what people need to realise is things like that can't last forever. Everybody's different. Nobody knows what's happening inside your body, you know, and we're just lucky that he's still here to tell his tale and to help every single person out there try and do everything that he tried not to do everything that he did, you know, and try and help people actually realise that there is a better life out there, and, you know, there's still a social life and there's still other things to do rather than deal with things through alcohol.